a scathing assessment of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign for Bill Clinton and Al Gore's former pollster. During her recent book tour, Clinton has blamed her stunning loss on everything from sexism in the media to James Comey to Vladimir Putin. But in an essay titled How She Lost, pollster Stan Greenberg says Clinton has no one to blame but herself, saying, "For me, the most glaring examples include the Clinton campaign's overdependence on technical analytics, its failure to run campaigns to win the battleground states, the decision to focus on the rainbow base and identity politics at the expense of the working class, and the failure to address the candidate's growing trust problem, and the failure to learn from events and reposition." Greenberg also says he repeatedly tried to warn campaign chair John Podesta that Clinton's message wasn't working. Well, Kennedy, since we were playing each other just a moment there, I'm going to go to you first. You did a great job.
Thank you.
I think we really looked a lot alike.
The part of Lisa Booth should always be played by Lisa Booth because she is stunning. But I will say this. If this were the sequel to What Happened, and it was called What Really Happened, it would be boring, it would be short, and it can be summed up in just a couple of paragraphs because he's spot on, and that only speaks to the frustration within the Democratic Party.
But Kenny, so I really want to get your thoughts on what do you make of him talking about this focus on gender and race issues over class and these economic issues that really drive voters? What do you make of that remark?
I think that speaks to the fact that Bill Clinton was actually Cassandra on Hillary Clinton's campaign, and he was relegated to the sidelines because everyone thought he was a doddering old fool because he was the only one within the campaign standing up saying, "You guys are ignoring your real base. You need to talk to these working class white voters who are totally disenfranchised by the system. Reach out to them now." No one would listen, and that's when he was benched.
Congressman, you know a thing or two about running campaigns and being a candidate yourself. Clearly, Hillary Clinton hasn't learned from anything, as evidenced by every interview she has given regarding this book. But do you think the Democrat Party has learned anything now that they're heading into the 2018 midterms?
Hey, I just hope they keep putting Hillary Clinton out there. I mean, look, as long as they have Hillary Clinton out there on a book tour, they put Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer as the leaders of their party. They don't offer any legitimate ideas that are going to gravitate people. They're going to keep having the same results. And let's remember, Donald Trump doesn't become President Donald Trump unless he's able to attract Democrats and real centrists to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, I think it's time to go a different direction. And he's right, though. The only person she can look at is the person in the mirror. She absolutely lost it. I think it was much more a referendum about Hillary Clinton, and the country said uniformly, we don't want Hillary Clinton to become the president of the United States.
Yeah, what do you think?
That's an interesting way of looking at it, because for those people who were on the fence and jumped over and voted for Donald Trump, then candidate, if they felt like they had nowhere to go then, they probably feel the same way now. Because the only face that you're seeing come out of the Democratic Party is Hillary Clinton. And if that continues to be the case, the question is, would they make that same choice again in 2020?
Well, and Sandra, from a business perspective, do you think, has the Democrat Party learned anything, as Stan Greenberg is pointing out there? Have you seen them lead on economic issues, or what's your take on that?
No, and she never got that during the election process, that people wanted a business-friendly environment in this country, period. Whether you were a small business owner or you're somebody who wanted your company to thrive so that your wages and earnings would go up. He got that message. She did not focus on that message, and she didn't learn along the way that was her message was not resonating. So how can the Democratic Party make any corrections to what we saw in 2016 going forward if they don't look back and see their mistakes?
The American people are looking at their 401k, they're looking at their retirement plans, they're looking at their mutual funds, they see the stock market record time after record time, in part because Wall Street has figured out that, hey, you know what, there's not going to be this massive new regulation coming down our path. We can actually do things. You have small businesses that are able to invest more. And I think they're making progress. But go, Hillary, go, run again.
Or the Federal Reserve manipulates our currency so much that investors have no choice but to get into the stock market.
Well, Congressman, question for you. So we're talking about some of these economic issues. Do you think Republicans lose their argument if they don't get anything done on tax reform or health care?
I think the surge in the stock market has assumed that there would be something done, but it would be a total and complete failure if Republicans got neither repeal and replace of Obamacare, nor did they get not only tax cuts, but tax reform. And I think what you're going to see laid out on Wednesday is more tax cuts than true reform, which was the promise of unified government. And so you turn the corner into 2018, people are going up for their primaries, how are they going to look Republicans in the eye and say, yeah, we actually made a difference?
Yeah, look at what's happened in those town halls that you've seen firsthand.
Yeah.
And those are only going to grow more and more fierce as the holidays start.
Although Nancy Pelosi has also been a beneficiary of that mob
And Chuck
mentality as
Schumer.
well.